So we had the rare opportunity to film one of my one-to-one consultations with a client and one of their dogs, and I thought it'd be a fascinating thing to bring you guys along for the journey and see kind of what it goes into working more with clients with companion dogs rather than my work with aggressive shelter dogs that are involved in police investigations, because they are two very different things. Now, with the growth of everything that we're doing at Fenrir and our online stuff, I am trying to dedicate as much time as possible for my in-person work to volunteering to the rescue centre where I work with the aggressive cases that you see on this channel. But every now and again I do still get the opportunity to kind of help people one-to-one with their companion dogs, and I was lucky enough to have a cameraman to be able to film this one. I thought it'd be really interesting to show you guys what that looks like and what a consultation with me looks like and where that differs from some other people, because my consultations are very, very much focused around educating the owner far more than it is around me working with the dogs. When I'm at the rescue centres, obviously I get to dive in and work solely with the dogs, try and get them to an incredible place. But when I'm working, I have a 30-minute, maybe a 60-minute consultation with an owner. There's only so much I can do with the dog, and even if I worked wonders, it is absolutely useless if the owner can't then take that dog home and be able to continue on with it. So these sessions tend to end up being much more educational, around me trying to educate the owner on, first of all, where they've made mistakes that's led to the behaviour difficulties that they're facing, which is why they've sought my help in the first place. Then be able to kind of explain and get them to understand what they need to do for them to become a higher level canine leader, and then what they need to do to take that dog home and be able to modify and rehabilitate those difficult behaviours that they've started to see. All you're doing there is telling him what you're doing right now is good, keep doing that. And that's why now he's very anxious and skittish. It's the natural thing to do. Everybody, you don't want to see him upset and crying. What you want to do, I want to come in and baby him and tell him everything's going to be okay, but it's just going to perpetuate that and make that worse. So what we actually need to do to love him and to make him happier is to be able to say, stop, I'm in charge. Because this is stemming from him going, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Okay. And every bad behaviour you're seeing is stemming from that, I don't know what to do. What we need to do is get him to know what he needs to do right now. I'm nervous, what do I need to do, Mum? Now, what that distraction that you're talking about is again, no guidance and direction, and it's stemming from anxiety. He doesn't understand, he's in fear of not knowing what's happening. So he's got a weird bearded man with something in his hand following him round, and now he's locking on to you for kind of emotional support. Buddy, sit. Good, good sit. Sit. Good. Good, yes. Good boy. Good boy. Building engagement. Good boy. All I need you to do is look up to me and everything's going to be okay. At the minute, he has none of that in his life, which is causing knock-on effects of anxiety and fear. That's all this is. So now this might seem a bit trivial, like we're just walking around, but we're just doing drills to build that engagement. Once we've got that engagement, then your communication comes open. And at the minute, you're just missing that communication piece because he's not listening. Again, he's choosing, yes, good. A dog that is already confused, that then has had those, you can understand how quickly that compiles that confusion of, sometimes I get treated, sometimes I get smack on the nose, sometimes I get pinned on the floor, sometimes, and that's why I was preaching about consistency, because he's living in fear. He's a very, very scared dog. So these jumping up things, the pulling things, they're the symptom of the problem. And it's very easy to say, oh, God, I want to stop him pulling. It's like, okay, cool, we do. You need to stop him being fearful and anxious first, and then that comes from a fair, consistent approach. So again, confusion, you see that look up to me. Now, usually I'd reward, but that's coming from a place of fear. That's an expecting, because of a lack of consistency. Sometimes you'll have come in and, it's okay, buddy. Yeah. Shh. Sometimes he gets a pop on the nose and told to shut up, probably depending on who's there and how embarrassed you are by his behaviour. That,
when he's just in the house and like barking.
Yeah, but sometimes I've tough love, I've seen you want to come down and pant, shh, okay? Sometimes I've seen, oh, now I'm annoyed, shh, stop. That lack of consistency causes confusion in a dog because they are very binary, 1 or 0, black or white, yes or no. It's all about that mindset. There's certain situations That's why I always talk about the root cause. If this was just obnoxious bad manners, I could come in and correct that really quickly, let him know that's not acceptable, how you would with just an obnoxious, sit. Good. An obnoxious child, you could take their Game Boy away from them, or their place, or their phone, and it's like problem, correction, solution. This stems from something else. That takes a bit longer to repick. Again, if this is stemming from just bad manners, I would correct this and let him know that that's unacceptable. I feel like this would be harsh because that's stemming from fear. This is fear behaviour. The problem is you see a tail wagging and he's engaging and he's a working breed. It's not. This is just confusion and fear, which is a more ongoing process of restructuring that and kind of earning his trust back ultimately. So what we'll do is we'll do some drills that you can do now, and I'll talk you through appropriate ways to handle this without jeopardising that trust. And then, yeah, go away and do that 1 month boot camp. What that will do is restructure that relationship and ultimately provide consistency. So it's consistency that's missing here. This case was a bread and butter dog with a lack of leadership and poor guidance and direction from its owners. Not from a place of any kind of neglect or abuse or intentional reasons behind why that's happened. And it is so common with why people struggle with their dogs, even when their heart is completely in the right place, why so many owners are struggling to get their dogs to be those dream canine companions that they want. And it always stems from a lack of leadership, which then stems from a breakdown in communication, as the dog doesn't know that it can look up to them for guidance and direction. The dog then starts to develop some anxiety and fear because they don't know what to do, what's right, what's wrong, who to look to. There's just no direction in the dog's life, and then that breaks down, and then the symptom is the behaviours, which is why so many people come to me wanting to fix the symptom. But what actually has to be done to be able to make any kind of significant progress is for the owner to understand that it is just a symptom of a bigger problem. And what I like to do is help the owners address the bigger problem, fix it at the root cause, and then all those symptoms go away. And that is why we've been able to have such significant success with so many owners, where so many other kind of trainers and behaviourists they've had difficulties with, because they're trying to address the symptom, whereas we at Fenrir always focus on addressing the root cause, which, like I say, 99.9 times out of 100 is a lack of leadership on the owner's part, which results in a breakdown in relationship because the dog doesn't know where to look to for guidance and direction. Therefore, there's no communication. And then if that's the case, how can we expect to teach our dog what we do want from them and what we don't want from them? So we strip it all back. Leadership informs relationship, which then informs communication, which then means you can teach your dog how to be a perfect canine companion. And that is exactly what we went through in this consultation.